Well, it's not evening. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Love More, the podcast. I'm your host, LaQuandra, and this is the place to love more. I'm so excited today. I have an amazing guest with me. Um, a good sister friend of mine. Her name is Krystal Davis. And together today, I'm beginning my first installment of a series entitled Love Saved My Life. And I thought it was so fitting to have her as my first guest. Um, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so glad to see you. And I'll be even more glad when I can put my hands on you. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Countdown. Countdown.
Okay, so first, thank you for joining me today. And I kind of want to know if you're ready for me to get all in your business the love more way.
Who? I don't know, but mm, you're already out there. So yeah, it's counseled me through a lot. So we'll just leave it there.
I mean, we're gonna get in mine too, so you're not gonna be by yourself. So it's
Good.
you safe. This is a safe space. I said that it's a space. It's a safe space. It's a place for transparency. So you could be here. You can talk how we talk,
Yeah.
and it's all good. So we're gonna get into your business the love more way. So what I want you to do, the next six questions that I ask you, I want you to answer them in 3 words or less. Okay. You ready?
Well, I talk a lot, so that's kind of hard. But okay, I'm ready. I'll,
Wait,
I'll be ready.
it's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be good. Okay, listen. Okay. So who do you love?
God.
What do you love?
Wait, you told me three or more. I wasn't done.
Oh, no, I said three.
You
That's
said
it.
who? You
No,
said who? So I only get one answer? I'll
it's 3 words or less.
Well, why couldn't I give you three words?
Okay, you can give me 3 words.
God,
Who
my
who do
son,
you love?
God, my son, and family. There we go. There we go.
I feel like that was more than 3 words though.
It was not God, son, and family. Actually, son qualifies as family, so I love everybody.
Okay,
Actually, we just say,
okay,
yeah, I'm being difficult. I know.
okay. So what do you love?
Food, honesty. Yeah,
I
that's what I love.
feel like I knew food was gonna be in there though.
Yeah, definitely
I
food.
feel like I knew.
I
Okay.
know. Yeah, mhm.
When do you love?
At all times.
Come on.
At all times.
Oh, come
At
on.
all
That's why you're my sister. Okay.
at all.
Where where do you love?
So that's a hard one because I feel like I exude love. So because it's in me, it's constantly around me. So it's wherever I go.
Come on, everywhere. That's one
That's,
word.
that's, that's yeah, everywhere. There we go.
Everywhere. Why do you love?
That's for 3 words or less. Um, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't really answer that in 3 words or less, Kendra. That is very hard.
Okay,
So
well,
I
I'll
I
give you a
will
space.
say
I'll give
because I
you a
know
space.
what it feels like. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to say that in 3 words or less, but
I'll give you a sentence.
yes, ma'am.
Can you say it in a sentence?
I say it because I know what love feels like.
Okay.
Therefore, therefore, I want everyone to feel love. So that's why I love. I feel like everyone is deserving of that and not everyone feels that they're deserving of it. So
So how do you love?
in any way possible, but it just depends on who the person is. Because some ways it's by cooking, other ways it's by being a listening ear, um, other ways it's just by not being judgmental, but like helping to steer your friends, family in the right direction. Um, yeah,
So guess what? I feel like you're gonna
I
make
didn't.
me change this from 3 words or less. So
Yeah, because that's
that was
so
really
hard.
good. That was so good.
That was
And I
that.
love you strong. Oh, I do. I
That's
promise.
just that's just really hard. Like I don't know. I told you I talk a lot. That's hard. You know me. You know this. But
And I
okay.
love it. Okay, so now with that being said, I know that we are all a sum of our experiences. And I believe that in order for us to do what Love More is here to do, um, and that's me being the change that I want to see in the world, and that's sharing love and spreading
Mhm,
more love. I believe in order for us to do that, and in order for us to start connecting to people and showing that love and showing the compassion, we have to share our stories. And I think that that's a way that will allow us to give people more grace,
mhm,
um, because we all have one. And I feel like when we learn other people's stories,
mhm.
it will open up that space for us to love people in a way, for us to actually understand that everybody is deserving of love,
Yep.
and for us to kind of like open up a way. And so, this being the first installment of the Love Saved My Life series, is story time. And I want you to tell me your story of how love saved your life.
So, um, I feel like love has saved my life in many instances, but one in particular is that I have a 14-year-old son. Um, that child was definitely born of love. I was in an abusive relationship. I don't really think that anybody could have told me that that was what the relationship that I was in. Like, I don't feel that at that time, 15 years ago, um, I was aware that I was accepting abuse because, again, back to being your story, how I grew up was love and being surrounded by love. And it's no pun or no joke, but mother's, my mother's side of the family, they are loves. So my grandmother taught us that love is more than just a last name. So you are to be loved at all times. So I got with an individual who I knew had some, you know, some things that I probably shouldn't have just turned a blind eye to. But I felt like that person needed to know love. That person needed to know that despite their faults, despite their past, despite the no matter what anybody else was saying about that person, there's something good in that person. And still to this day, there's some great things. Um, but I felt like I was going to be the person to bring that out and to show them a different way, and that you don't have to be in the streets and be all of this. But um, yeah, it was a very abusive relationship. It got to a point of it being physical. Um, but I'm a fighter, so
Yeah.
it was never a where I was just being like beat on. It was, you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. And once it got to that point, it got to a certain point where I was pregnant with my son, and I was actually thrown in a bathtub. And um, at that point, I knew that my love couldn't save that person, but my love and the love that I have for Christ and the love that I have for my son that was growing in my womb
Yeah.
is what made me get up, fight for my life, and never turned back. And when I say I was 2.5 months pregnant and I never turned back, I never went back into that situation. I completely moved, like moved a whole apartment.
Yeah.
It was a stalking type of situation, but I moved a whole apartment into another place. Once that individual found out where I was staying, I moved again with no
Had to. Get
with
me
no
out of here.
warning. But like just that thing in itself, and I will say that I didn't want to be a parent early on. I wasn't prepared for that. I had a different path of life that I thought that's where I was going. But God said different.
Yeah.
And He gave me this child to love on, to nurture, to correct, to guide, to become a strong Black man in this time where we don't see a lot. My parents are hands on. He's got a wonderful village. Um, but love, definitely the love that I had for that growing, now I want to say this teenager, but that growing baby in my stomach gave me a different type of understanding. It gave me a different type of responsibility. At that point, I had to act in a different way, and I could no longer settle for less or settle for an argument or whatever it was. He needed to be surrounded by what I was surrounded by, which was love. He needed to be surrounded by what I was putting into him, because once I found out I was pregnant, everything changed up. So that also meant that if I'm changing my diet, I have to change what I'm hearing, what I'm involving myself in, um, and just to become a better person because of love. Because that love that this innocent child had no idea what he's coming into, it was for
Yeah.
me to prepare that world for him to enter, and for that love that I have for that baby, and that baby to love me unconditionally, because that's, in the end of the day, I'm all he had.
Yeah.
So that definitely, you know, changed me. Some people felt like I was changing and like not being there for them, but it wasn't that. I had to be there for me, and I had to be there for my baby.
Yeah.
So when we say love has changed your life, absolutely it did. Because I wouldn't be the woman that I am today had I not loved. Um, and loving is not always easy. You will get hurt. Sometimes you'll get hurt.
Yeah.
But the greater part of love is to know that you can come through that. You
Yeah.
can be hurt. You can be slapped, beat down upside the head with love. Sometimes you might not even want some type of love that somebody is giving you, because
Absolutely.
I had to go through some things and understand that um, that person that I was trying to love in the way that I knew what I explained was love, he was trying to love me in a particular way. That's what he knew. So I
Yeah.
was introducing him into a different type of love, and he wasn't trying to fit into the form that I had. And that's okay. You don't have to fit. You don't have to fit. You can't force your love on someone else, though.
Yeah.
So when you know that it's different, and you know that God is giving you an opportunity, or He can show you something different. Um, like I said, I don't know. I didn't say, but that this child is a miracle child. I was told I wasn't to have children.
Yeah.
Um, we use protection. That's what it's supposed to be. But I know that if I hadn't had this baby, I probably would be dead or in jail, because that's the path that I was going down.
Yeah.
Um, Dealing with someone that I didn't have no business whatsoever, sheltered all my life,
Yeah.
had no business dealing with certain types of individuals, being out in the street. I don't know. It just wasn't for me, but um, I had to go through that. I had to go through that so that I could be actually where I'm at today, because I'm now dating what I would call my high school sweetheart, but not really. We'll get into
Yeah.
that at another time. But someone that I loved early on, and probably for the best, I would say that we couldn't be with each other at that point in time, but we're the best possible versions of ourselves today. So we're able to accept each other and bring out a different side of each other that we at 18 we wouldn't have respected or accepted it. So,
One.
but yeah, the love that saved my life was the love that I had for my son and the love that I felt coming from that womb. That when you're pregnant, that does something to you.
Listen,
That does
it's
something
that
to you.
it's that's one of my definitely one of the loves that saved my life. So it's definitely um it's something about children.
It wakes you up.
Absolutely. But the way that mine saved my life was that it made me look at life completely different.
Hmm.
I'm like you, like we were sheltered. Um, our parents kept us away from everything. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Except for
So
the church.
that's it. And so just being sheltered and not really knowing like that where you're going to go in life also it depends on who you're connected to. And I'm not saying that to put anybody that we've been in past relationships with like in a bad, in a bad
Right.
light or whatever, because we have beautiful children by
Hmm.
them. And I know for me, I was married, and I'm now divorced. But I mean, my ex husband has a great heart. I just, my child, it saved my life because I don't really necessarily know. Um, I feel like I lost a lot of myself
Hmm.
in my relationship, and um, I was kind of dying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying like I don't
Yeah.
know. The light that I once had when I was younger, I didn't have.
You weren't able to really identify that version of yourself at that time because that was not who you were used to being.
Yeah.
So that,
And I
yeah.
had my child. I was pregnant. And first of all, I was like, first of all, not even supposed to be having babies. I'm supposed to be the auntie, the rich auntie that's picking up her nieces and nephews,
Hmm.
kicking it with them and taking them back home and going and doing my thing. I'm not even supposed to have a baby. Um, but then that happened. I was like, oh wow. So now I'm gonna be a mom. And then when he was born, I remember just a light bulb went off and I said, I want him to live his best life. I want him to know that he is limitless
Hmm.
and that he can do anything. But I want him to believe and know that for himself. But I didn't believe and know that for myself.
Right.
And so that was the beginning of the end of my relationship ultimately. Um, yeah, I was dying and I didn't know. Just because I just lost my ambition. I lost a lot of who I was. And not necessarily the fault of it's no one's fault, but my own, really. Trying to love in a certain type of way and pouring into someone and trying to pour so much of yourself into someone else that you lose a lot of who you are.
Right.
And listen, that little boy, he changed my life. He saved my life. And ultimately, I've been doing I'm not where I want to be, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like I'm finally seeing now. Okay, you could. I'm getting it back. Um, the ambition is coming back. The belief in self is coming back.
Mhm.
The the love that I'm able to spread and pour into other people is coming back because I'm not my cup is not empty. So it revived me. It saved my life, and so I'm so grateful. And I think that that was exactly your experience.
Mhm.
I think
Absolutely.
that was exactly your experience.
Because I think what happens is that you pour so much, and you say that you're constantly pouring yourself into someone else. But we can't forget to pour into ourselves,
Yes.
and we also got to know when we have to stop pouring.
Yeah.
When someone is not reciprocating that, they are not filling you back up. It, at some point, you're going to say, you know what, I love you, but I gotta love you from a distance.
Yeah.
Um, it's something that I continue to struggle with to not be there for everyone, to not be that one call that's all. Oh,
Yeah.
such and such got an issue, I'm finna pull up. Oh, you need a babysitter, drop them off. Whatever it is, I've had to learn to not be there for everyone else because in reality, when I was in the thick of it in those storms, I wasn't getting that love back.
Yeah.
So I just, we just, it's a part of loving and growing.
Yeah.
But love has so many different sides to it that one thing's for sure, it's not selfish. It's never going to be selfish, but it is something that will change you. And once you change, and that change is always going to be for the better. That's one thing that you can't go back to. You can't go back to being a hateful person once love has changed your life. You
Right.
can't go back to being a person that is not about their business when love changes your life because now you know that that's your mission. Like, wait a minute, I know something different. I know that things don't have to be as bad as what it seems, or I went through this storm, but love can bring you out of that.
Mhm.
Just being loving and exercising that and exuding that, or giving someone extending grace to other individuals when you don't have to. You
Yeah.
know, you could have been beat up somebody, but no, 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 no,
I'm just
no.
gonna tell you, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my absolute best to not even revisit because we not new to this. We're true to this, so we've been around
Yeah,
each other
yeah,
to
yeah,
see the other side. So
yeah,
I'm just so grateful for the growth, and I'm grateful for the love. And I've always seen your heart, and I think that that's why through the ups and downs of life, you have always been my sister. You've always been my friend, and will always be because that's the type of heart that you have. And so, you're going to always have a sister and friend in me just because of that.
yeah. We've always had a different bond, a different understanding, just because our backgrounds were so similar, coming from a two-parent household, which is something that, as African Americans, we do not always see. So I think I clung to you because I'm like, she's like me.
And
She's
we were judged for that. Like we
yeah,
were mistreated
yeah,
and often like looked at,
hmm yeah,
almost shunned because of that. And I'm just like, well, we didn't do that. Like
like
I'm not responsible for any of that.
yeah, like I'm no. It doesn't make us any more special than anyone else.
No, and
It's
we
just
don't
that
ever think that. We've never thought that, and we've never carried ourselves that
yeah,
way.
we just came from a different walk of life, a different type of support system, and um, I don't know. It's really one of those things that it take you to have to be in that type of to grow up that way to really be like, okay, I get
And
it.
baby, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Because you don't just get it from one way. You get it
Baby.
from both ways.
And it ain't no days off. They like no days off. No,
No days off. It's so much pressure, like,
no days off. No.
and that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Like that pressure, but hey, we
We
been
made it. Look,
right.
we made it.
We made it. We made it. Oh, that was so good. I love you. So I have one more question for you since story time is over.
Okay.
Um, what is the most important lesson that you've learned in love?
To never give up. It's to never give up. Um, yeah, it's to never give up because honestly, I had given up. Once I got out of that situation, and I was like, okay, 3 years later, I could do this. He's a little older, my son's older, and I'm ready to start trusting somebody and let them back in. But I still was like holding a piece of myself or reserving, always keeping some part of me away, not fully giving myself, never really fully committing. I will honestly say this is the first committed relationship that I've been in my entire life. If we dated in the past and you thought other, my bad. But hey, oh, we're going 6 years strong over here. Okay, we good. Sorry, Clutch. You told me to walk in my truth, so I had to,
Transparency.
yeah, because
Transparency.
that's part of it. I was still keeping a piece of myself, or what I thought, like, oh, you make me mad. It's cool. I don't need you. That type of attitude. See you when I see you. I'll never talk to you again. Like, you make me mad. We're on the phone. I'm never talking to you again. Like, I don't have to talk to you anymore. So that type of thing. But mature, maturity, you mature, you change, whatever. But yeah, that part of not giving up. I had gotten into two other relationships after that terrible relationship. So it's like I went from what I assumed or what you when growing up, you hear like someone is in a abusive relationship, but not understanding that it's not just physical abuse. You can
Yeah.
go from being physically abused to going to the next relationship, and this person is mentally abusing you, and then the next person just dogging you out and got 15 kids, and you don't know nothing about them. So I went from one to the next, like terrible situations, one after the other, and then
Yeah.
I acted up. I acted a fool. I I became the abuser. I beat up my then boyfriend in the store. So after that, I was like, I can't ever allow anyone to put me in that situation because I can't do anything to be away from my son because
Yeah.
I changed my life for him. But at that instance, I didn't change my life. I I wasn't even Crystal at that moment. I don't know who that person was in the grocery store. I don't know. I don't know. But that was 7 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
September, it was 7 years ago. Labor Day was 7 years ago.
Goodness gracious.
Um, so I had really given up. I wasn't trying to date anybody and I wasn't trying to mingle. I'm good, I'm good. I got my kid. I'm good. I don't need nobody. I wasn't thinking about marriage or any of that. Now let's fast forward 6 years into a committed relationship. We are definitely on the right path. We are definitely doing things differently because we early on had that conversation with each other. In order for us to have a different outcome than what we've had in the past, we got to do things different.
Yeah.
So there are different things that we do that we know this house that we have, this home that we built is completely built on love.
Yeah.
And when you have that foundation, nobody can break that. Nobody can shake that. I don't care what nobody do. It ain't going nowhere.
Yes. Cheers to never giving up. Come on, lesson.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
listen,
what's yours?
my biggest lesson in love that you have to risk it all, and it's worth the risk every single time. Um,
I love that.
I I feel like, and it wasn't. I recently saw something. Iman Shumpert was talking about how Kobe Bryant dropped a bomb on him, and he was like, "Watch, I'm about to f y'all up." He was like, Kobe was like, "People always talking about you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket. I mean, I'll just go get some more eggs." I was like,
Mhm.
"That's how I treat love. Like I'm aware
Mhm.
um, that my heart can get broken,
Mhm.
but just like it healed the last time, it'll heal again."
Yep.
So, um, because I trust God that way. Um,
Mhm.
I had somebody drop a jewel on me because I've always said I love strong, I love hard, and I've been vulnerable with the wrong people. And he said, I'm going to challenge that. He said, you've been vulnerable with the right people, um, because they were sent to. It was designed for you to learn a lesson from it.
That part.
And I was like, you just
Yep.
made all of it make sense for me because that's so true. Um, that listen, I'm going to be who I am in love. I love hard. I'm a very vulnerable person. I'm a very transparent person. And I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket type of person.
Mm.
But just like I'm aware that my heart will heal, I just go get some more eggs. So
Mhm. Because you don't want them spoiled ones that.
mm, that's in that one, not in that basket.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Like, might just get a whole new basket.
But
Easter
yeah,
basket.
but that's definitely one. Um, and I'm sure as the podcast goes on, I have to have you back. I'm sure there's going to be more and more lessons because I've learned a lot of lessons in love, but that's just one that came to mind right off top. So I want to thank you so much. I love you so
Love
much.
you.
Taking the time out of your day. I don't know if you have to go. Orange Plate Catering, y'all. Please, she's amazing. She's in Milwaukee. Check
Shameless plug.
her out. Listen, baby can cook, and I'm never ever disappointed. Not never. You won't be either. So check her out.
Thank
If
you.
you all have any topics, questions, concerns, y'all want to get on the pod, whatever, just email me. The place to love more, all one word, the place to love more at gmail.com. Krystal, I thank you so much. I love
Love
you.
love
And
you
until
too.
next time, I hope you all are inspired to care more, to share more, to be more, and to love more. Blessings and love.